my opinion, Subnautica is one of the best horror games of all time, because it can scare the living hell out of you with ease. And it does this by using a plethora of extremely interesting methods that we will be going over in this video. But first I want you to question your own misconceptions, because most people think the game is horrifying because of the Leviathans. But what about the atmosphere, the story, the music? Because they play a far more crucial role than you might think. And we're gonna be going over each and every single one of them. And if we want to understand that, we firstly have to look at us humans. Because since the dawn of humanity, we have always feared the unknown. And the oceans are no exception. It is both beautiful and destructive. An unstoppable force which cannot be tamed. It is home to massive creatures, capable of tearing apart in mere seconds, pressures that can squeeze you into nothing, and voids of darkness accompanied by the eerie feeling that you're not alone. And Subnautica captures all of that and even more. Rather than scaring you with what is, it utilizes our fear and puts us on edge with what isn't. Now, Subnautica starts off with you being shot from your spaceship, otherwise known as the Aurora, and when you finally land on the planet, the first thing you see is this. Your only hope of escape burning into a crisp, surrounded by an endless body of water stretching as far as the eye can see. It's enough to send chills down the spine of anyone playing. Now, after that you jump into the water, and you're accompanied by alien plants and fish. The shallow waters ease you into your playthrough, making you think that this actually isn't that bad, you know? Sure, there's the occasional crash fish, or the weird looking stalker, but nothing that you can handle, you know? There's nothing that'll scare you shitless. And that's precisely what the game is trying to accomplish. It wants to give you a false sense of security, before it inevitably takes it away and makes you fear everything that makes a noise or moves in your peripheral vision. But the game can't do that just yet, because it firstly wants to show you a few glimpses of what is to come. This is where its amazing storyline comes into play, and let's see if we can figure it out.
This is Lifepod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea guide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic.
At first, when you hear this, you think that there might actually be someone out there, that you're not alone, so you quickly go check it out. And you find this, a lifeboat seemingly destroyed from the inside out, and there's no bodies anywhere to be seen. Basically, the game gave you a tiny drop of hope and ruthlessly tore it away. But it didn't do just that. It made you question just what the hell caused that gaping hole. Why is there no bodies, and is there something out there watching my every move, waiting for me to make one mistake so it can devour me? In simple words, it turned your hope into fear. But that still isn't enough. If the game truly wants to scare the living hell out of you, it can't do that just yet. Because it has to do one more thing first. Basically, at this point of the game, you slowly start to explore your surroundings. You find crashes, get resources, make tools and equipment, and make a whole flipping base. And eventually, you will encounter your first Leviathan, the Great Reefback Leviathan. At first, you're gonna be quite a little bit skeptical, but quickly you will realize that this thing is absolutely harmless. The only thing it does is move slow as hell and give out some very strange noises. And with this thing, the game has sealed your fate. It has given you even more false security. It made you think that even if there is something big out there, that it couldn't possibly be dangerous. Right? In this biome you can also find some SEMA fragments, which will allow you to construct a small submarine, which is fast, agile and strong. I'm coming for you, Peter Griffin! It will make you think that you are invincible, and so it'll give you even more false security. But now the game has laid out everything it needs to do to scare you. So from now on, it all goes downhill. With this new submarine you can explore far further and reach places you couldn't before. After you witness the Aurora exploding, you decide it's time to go and see what it's all about. Surely there's something there that could help you on your journey. In that moment, the game just went from fun and beautiful to scary and horrifying. Now you know that there's something out there, something big, relentless, a creature which cannot be defeated by your puny hands. From now onward, when you stare into the abyss will stare back at you, with a constant threat of death. This is what makes the game truly amazing, and it knows how to scare you even more. Instead of bombarding you with hundreds of leviathans, it leaves you alone with your thoughts, and your fear taking over.
9 new biological subjects designated. Mode. Hunting. Analyzing.
At this point of the game, you've encountered almost all of the life pods, and every single one is blown from the inside out. Furthermore, there are no bodies anywhere, only a PDA entry of their final moments. The game is sending your mind into overdrive. Anything could be a threat. The waters are getting murkier, deeper, darker, and the music even eerier the further you go from your life pod. In simple words, the game has complete control over your mind, but it's not done yet. It wants to set you into full despair. So, it does this.
Aurora, this is Sunbeam again. We just picked up a massive debris field at your location. We're gonna bring you home. Sunbeam out.
The game has again given you a small drop of hope, so you leave your base and follow the marker, where you find an island with a peculiar looking building.
Touching down in 10, 9, 8. It's coming from the building? Change course. Set thrusters to full.
Now you have absolutely no hope of escaping, and the game can now force you to go into the dark depths, because nobody is coming to save you. You have to save yourself by building a rocket. And for that, you need a ton of materials, which are only found in the deepest and darkest of biomes. So it is time to get yourself a Cyclops together with a prawn suit and go into the unknown. As you go deeper, the creatures become far more eerie looking, simulating the difference in pressure, the same as on our planet. They take on stranger shapes and become even more hostile. The tension is building the deeper you go. Every sound, every movement, it could all be a threat. Who knows, even the plants could kill you at this point. Despite that, you keep pushing forward. You need answers, but the only thing you can find is more questions. The biggest one being, what lurks in the depths? What you just saw was the Ghost Leviathan, but in all honesty, the only thing that's more baffling is this. A fossilized creature of gigantic proportions. And sadly, it is not in the game, but despite that, our mind still questions. What if? What if it does exist, lurking in the endless depth of the void? Up until now, the game has meticulously designed every single situation in order for you to feel as anxious and paranoid as possible. And in a few moments, it will put all of that to use by showing you that there's something bigger than the Reaper out there. A creature of outstanding proportions, and one that even feasts on the Reaper itself. A creature with such a relentless roar, it sends chills down the spine of any mortal foolish enough to come into its domain. When I first played the game, this was one of the most terrifying things I ever saw. And rightfully so. The game knew it could scare you 100 times more if it gradually built up the tension and only exposed you to a handful of leviathans. Because it used our own minds against us. It made us fear the unknown. So when the rare moment occurs, when you actually meet a leviathan, all of the fear you've built up comes rushing in. Since it gave you the time to imagine all of the worst case scenarios.